details for you will be live on the ground as government directs NADMO to assess the extent of damage. Also, as NEDCO demands 40% increase in electricity tariff, the minority is predicting new managers of ECG will rather make Ghanaians pay 60% more for the power they consume.
The concessionaire is coming in and the concessionaire is in for profit. So we should expect astronomical increase in tariffs.
Also, government 1.7 million cedi compensation to families of victims killed by police at Mansun Kwanta. Welcome gesture by families? Well, they've been speaking.
My brother is having 5 children. Friend's man is also having 5 children, and the wife is pregnant with the 6th child. The rest of the 4 are not having any child. So if you give uniform compensation, it means that you are going to overburden some families.
And in business, the new owners of ECG Miracle set to formally take over the company from the beginning of next month.
In sports, after their boss plan to use a chartered flight for their trip to Cameroon, Kumasi Asante Kotoko will leave for Yaoundé tomorrow for the first leg of their CAF Confederations Cup with Cotton Sport.
Well, live also in Yendi for the latest in that Tandani and Abudu issues still raging, and also the latest from that government statement making it clear that President Akufo-Addo has never endorsed the company, that's Men's Gold, or its officials and its operations. You may want to join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp here on Newsnight on 0244 340 437. I am MFA Paul.
And I am Komla Adum.
We'll be right back after this break.
Trusted, innovative financial services, providing knowledge and support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services, your success our passion. Trusted, innovative financial services, providing knowledge and support and solutions. Customer-oriented, superior services. Success our passion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty. Your success our passion. Oh yeah, your success our passion.
Your success our passion.
Hello, I say, how did now? Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smart Rubiadron. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, we the Vodafone people just they call plenty. Sake of us you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
You're welcome back, and as always, you can join us with your comments and thoughts on stories you will be hearing here on Newsnight on our WhatsApp number 0244 340 437, 0244 340 437. Now, Interior Minister has tonight tasked a 5-member committee headed by former IGP Patrick Champong to identify the remote causes of the renewed communal violence between Congolese and Chokosis in Chirepone in the northern region. We know at least 4 lives have been lost and some 150 homes are believed to have been burnt in the clashes said to have been triggered by a misunderstanding over a parcel of land.
Now, Kamala, the fact-finding committee has up to 12th of February 2019 to submit its report to the Interior Minister. Now, inaugurating the committee, Mr. Derry tasked the members to delve into the matters incidental to the conflict and recommend solutions on how to address them.
The fact that the two groups are so close, I felt it when one of the chiefs said, I have cucumber blood in my body. Yes, Mr. President wants Ghana and all Ghanaians united, and therefore we want to make sure that this happens. The youth organizations have also come in to support, and all want peace, but they also want us to look into the matter, to investigate the matter, so that the truth will be revealed and recommendations made to enable us to have a sustainable peace. And I know that the approach that we are taking now, with the blessing of Mr. President, is to make sure that we put in place a committee, a fact-finding committee, to go into the matter, to enable us not just make the peace that you're all committed to, but also to ensure that the peace is sustainable. We have also taken note of some of the issues raised about the activities of security agencies and organizations. And I assure you that under the auspices of the RESEC and the DISEC, working up to the National Security Council, that these will be resolved. Yes, the damage and destruction, NADMO has been directed to go immediately to the place to assess the damage. Government will do what it can to help in ameliorating the situation. And we are also concerned about getting our own people back. I hear they are coming, but this committee is going to work with us to ensure that in the circumstances, therefore, a 5-man or member committee has been set up. The terms of reference of this committee are, first, fact-finding to identify the remote and immediate causes of the 1st January 2019 conflict between the Anofos and Kukumbas in the Chirepone and its surrounding areas. Second, to delve into matters incidental to the conflict.
You heard the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry. In fact, we know that over 5,000 people are believed to have been displaced.
And then 150 homes have been touched, we are told. Yes. And then also about 4 deaths were recorded. That's official.
Yes.
And then we also told that this whole renewed clash was over a 2-acre land.
2-acre land. And education authorities have moved in to shut down some of the schools, you know, so that students...
And the health workers have also moved out of the
Yes, they've also
town.
fled. We can speak to our correspondent, Martina Bugrihe, who has been following this for us. Many thanks to you, Martina. What has been the reaction of both groups to what the Interior Minister has been saying?
I spoke to the 2 youth groups, and they are excited that at least government is intervening, and they're not just intervening, but asking that they find out what exactly caused it and propose solutions as to how they can end this conflict that keeps occurring. And so, speaking to the Koya president and Anofo president, they believe that the committee would do a good job. We can listen to them.
Waiting is good, and it's a good step in the right direction. And so we are going to support them to discharge their duties as mandated.
When you say you're going to support them, what exactly would be your role?
I think we shouldn't just be peace lovers, but we should also be players in bringing peace to the people of Chirepone and its environs. And so whatever information that will be necessary, we shouldn't hesitate to avail it to them. And then also as and when they come around, we move with them to the various communities on the need to talk about peace to our people.
In our search for peace, I strongly believe that the committee that has been put in place today, inaugurated by the Minister in charge of Interior, we are going to see the light of the day. It is a committee, the personalities that have been put in place, I believe in them. I know they can deliver, and with that, I think that the matter will get resolved. And I also want to encourage all those that they will contact to give information as it is. They should speak to issues, try to speak the truth so that the matter will be resolved.
Martina, the Peace Council has also been, speaking about some recommendations to address the situation at hand. What exactly have they been saying?
The Archbishop for the Tamale Diocese, Mos Philip Name, says that he says that social media continues to play a role in inflammation conflicts in the area. He says that having mediated on conflicts in the area, he knows that social media plays, even though research hasn't proven it. And so they should be guarded when people comment on social media, and they should also interrogate people so that people just don't get away and put in things that can cause mayhem. He also says that the time when conflict between two people becomes communal is past. It's no more attractive again, and so people should see conflicts as individual things and not make it a communal thing.
To appeal to the fighting parties to end hostilities and be committed to mutual ceasefire. In fact, I was very gratified that almost all the speeches given so far are committing themselves not only to a ceasefire, but to a commitment to a permanent peace between each other. We urge the fighting parties to adhere to principles of non-violence and use dialogue rather than the power of the gun to address their grievance. Although it is worthy to know that leaders of Kokumbas and Anuku have already pledged to end the fight for the common good, we urge them to avoid the temptation of relapsing into overt violence.
You had the rep of the Peace Council in the Northern Region speaking to Martina Bugri there. But we have been joined on the other line by Vice Chair of the Defence Committee in Parliament, Collins Owusu-Amankwah. I'm grateful you could join us on Newsnight. Sir, did we have to wait for the conflict to escalate to this level before stepping up? I mean, 4 people dead, 150 homes burned, over 5,000 people displaced?
Hello?
Hello, Ms. Amankwah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, who am I speaking with?
My name is Komla. Thank you for joining us here on Newsnight, sir.
Great.
My question to you is, did we have to wait for the conflict to escalate to this level before stepping up efforts? Because we know that now 4 people have been killed, over 150 homes burnt, and some 5,000 others displaced.
Not at all. And sorry, good evening to your cherished listeners. First of all, I think it is important to state that there hasn't been any formal communication to the committee. However, I understand that individuals members on the committee, that is a committee on defense and interior, are working seriously behind the scene to ensure that peace is restored to the area. And I also have a strong conviction that the Minister for Defense, who is or an indigent of the area, is so much committed to peace and security in the area, I mean, as well as the whole country. So I'm very confident that the Minister for Interior has also set up a committee to, as it were, probe the matter and find lasting solution. So you would ask yourself, why must over 2 acres of land degenerate into this kind of violence? I'm particularly not enthused at all.
Yes, you've commended the Interior Ministry for moving in, setting up this committee, but some experts, security experts that is, are arguing that the approach adopted by the ministry is somewhat problematic. That's why we've not been able to deal with the situation.
Well, that's their opinion. Of course, there has been some kind of intervention, and I think the minister must be commended. Notwithstanding, I would have also proposed that we need an independent arbitrator nominated by the conflicting parties, either the chiefs of the both area or any respected representative of the parties, who I strongly believe that they would have absolute confidence to, as it were, work on such matters. I believe that independent arbitrator will help both parties to establish long-term solution to this very conflict.
Some people have said that this particular parcel of land in question should be used by government to, build some public or social amenity or infrastructure.
Pardon? You said they've been questioned what?
Some people have suggested, for example, that this parcel of land in question should be used to build or raise a public or social amenity or infrastructure to benefit both factions then.
Well, that is a good suggestion, and I think I share the same position with those making those proposals. Of course, we need to develop the area, and without peace, there cannot be development. And this is what I want my brothers and sisters to know. Of course, the way forward is dialogue, but dialogue must come with a forgiving spirit. There ought to be some forgiveness. They should understand that they are one people with a clear sense of direction. Their cardinal identity is Ghanaians and not their ethnic identity. And that is what I want to put across.
All right, and before I let you go, Mr. Amankwa, the Defense Committee in Parliament is yet to convene, we know, but is it a matter that you're interested in and you will be taking some action on when you reconvene?
Of course, as a committee, we are mandated by law to, as it were, examine all matters relating to security, conflict, and other related issues of that sort. So definitely we are more concerned, and I strongly believe that the minister will definitely brief the committee going forward.
To you, Vice Chair of the Defense Committee of Parliament, Collins Owusu, there speaking to us on this particular disturbing story from the Triponi area in the northern region, MFR.
We'll be heading to Yendi shortly also. We're told there's some developments there leading to the final funeral rites for the Andani family starting tomorrow. We'll get details shortly. But first, the 38-year-old woman has lost her life after she was hit by stray bullets. The two others, the husband of the deceased and a 15-year-old girl, are also battling for their lives. According to the police, the taxi in which the couple were traveling was caught in a crossfire between the police and suspected armed robbers in the early hours of today at Isuatri, a suburb of Cape Coast. Richard Koyonyako has more in this report.
The 38-year-old woman died after she was hit by stray bullets Thursday morning. Her 47-year-old husband and a 15-year-old girl were also hit by stray bullets and are currently on admission at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. The couple were in a taxi on their way to work while the 15-year-old girl was standing by the roadside looking for a taxi to go to school. According to the police team at Chifupraso had an information while on patrol duties that a saloon car with registration number GT 4523J was being used by suspected armed robbers in an operation. The police recount that the pursuit of the suspected robbers led to an exchange of fire between the police patrol team and the suspected robbers at the Suechi, a suburb of Cape Coast. Central Regional Police Commander DCOP Paula Winnie recounts how the 38-year-old lost her life and two others that are on admission currently.
From Jukwa, where they rammed into the second barrier after the Chifupraso barrier, the armed robbers started firing at the police, and then the patrol team also returned the fire. Amidst the exchanges, there was a taxi cab with registration number CR 523-17, which was caught up between the police and the suspected robbery vehicle. In the process of the exchanges, a bullet hit a woman aged about 38 years, now deceased, as well as her husband, 47 years, and a schoolgirl, 15 years old, who was standing at the roadside looking for a vehicle to attend school.
Police say two of the suspected robbers were arrested while the third, who was holding a rifle, ran into the bush. One of the suspected robbers is also receiving treatment at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital.
In the process, the robbers' vehicle ran into a ditch around the Ankafo Junction, and two of the suspects succeeded in escaping, including one who was wielding an AK-47 weapon. Police arrested two of the suspected robbers, namely Joseph Kwanzaa, 36 years, and Daniel Ewusi, 32 years, who is also on admission at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital receiving treatment. for a cutlass wound he suffered from a member of the public who was at the scene where their vehicle ran into the ditch. Upon an inspection in the vehicle, the suspect vehicle, police found 7 live goats and 5 dead goats.
The Inspector General of Police has, however, directed that the CID headquarters in Accra take over the investigations. The question as to whether it was a stray bullet from the police that killed the woman or the alleged bullets of the goat thieves that resulted in the fatality and the injuries remain unanswered. The family of the couple are calling for justice to be served. Richard Kwejinyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Now, we are told that there's a statement from the Office of the Inspector General of Police. Parker Wilson has a copy of that statement regarding this incident. What does it say, Parker?
Right, and the statement is signed by Director General of Public Affairs, ACP David Klu. Now, the Inspector General of Police has directed the Criminal Investigation Department, CID headquarters, to take over investigations of a shooting incident that led to the death of a woman and injuries to others at Ankerford Junction on January 10, 2019. A report received from the Central Regional Police Command indicates that there was a chase involving some suspected armed robbers that resulted into a shooting incident. Now, the CID has been tasked to investigate and submit a report to the IGP in 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
The police administration assures the public, relatives of the deceased and victims, that the necessary investigative procedures would be done to unravel the truth of the unfortunate incident.
Thank you very much, Parker. Now, let's stay on police-related incidents. Now, some bereaved families of the Manson Quanta shooting victims are unhappy about the uniform disbursement of government's compensation package.
And President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday announced a 1.7 million CD package, which gives each family some 250,000 CDs in package. However, some of them say some families are more burdened than others, and therefore equal sharing of the money puts them at a disadvantage. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has been speaking to some of the relatives of these deceased victims.
2-year-old Mami Fafi is fast asleep. She and her 3 other siblings are keeping their mother company. Humu Abubakar is widow of the late Baba Kande. I knew of the outcome, she says. My husband is never a robber. Though the mother of 5 is happy about the package announced by the president, she believes her husband could provide more than that if he were alive. Madame Humu says an educational endowment fund will be apt for the 5 children aged between 2 and 17 years. Fathi, for instance, is 2 years, and yet to start school. If there can be an educational fund, it will be good for the children. Their father is everything. Bashiru Baba Arwaz is father of Abdul Hanan. He says the compensation is another step to clear his son's name of robbery. For him, exposing the police personnel behind the killing of Hanan and his colleagues remains unconditional demand. I'm the first person in my family to bury a son. What disturbs me most is armed robbery tag. We thank the government for the investigation. As for the compensation, though we thank government, I have enough to live on. Nazer Garden Boy is a bereaved relative executive of concerned Zongo youth. He says government should take a second look at the disbursement of the compensation money.
This is it. My brother, whose shop is where we are standing, Babankandi, is having 5 children. Frenchman, the one who works as the one who sells bread, is also having 5 children, and the wife is pregnant with the 6th child. The others, there is one guy from Bekwa who is having 2 children. The rest of the 4 are not having any child. So if you give a uniform compensation, it means that you are going to overburden some families. Because right now, the 5 children of Babankandi, their principal interest is what? Their education.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Well, what went into the uniform disbursement to the families? We'll speak to the Ashanti Regional Minister shortly. But first, there are still outstanding issues awaiting some closure. Key among them is the prosecution of 21 police officers identified to have carried out the killing. Member of Parliament for the area, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, is pushing this, and he joins us on the telephone line. Grateful, Mr. Muntaka Mubarak, for joining us. First, some of the families are saying, looking at their dependents, it is unfair for the compensation to be uniformly distributed. What's your position on that?
Well, I mean, let me say good evening to you and your listeners. I mean, when the package was announced, I don't know if you heard me on other sister stations, my concern was that, well, government has done well. I mean, it came late, but it's better late than never. But I believe that the life of an average Ghanaian is worth more than 250,000. But nevertheless, the government is saying that's why it's able to do. That will be fine. But I believe, like the families have said, those who have more dependents should be upped with a little more of the resources than those who didn't have anybody. I mean, I know someone may argue that it's about the life of those who lost their life, but I know that the compensation is to the family. So if one has children in particular and wife that are dependent on him, we needed to have considered that in the formulation of the compensation. And I have also argued that my belief would have been if an educational trust was set up for these children, that would have been ideal. If that was not possible, maybe $1 million cedis each to each of the family, especially those with the children, would have been ideal. Because if you spread this 250,000 Ghana cedis over even a period of 10 years, you will see that, I mean, taking care of the children will become a real challenge, especially those who have children that are as young as 2 years. So that had been the position. Like I've said again and again and again, our main aim when this whole thing started, we set ourselves 3 goals. 1, to get this matter investigated properly by an independent group. Yes, graciously, government, even though reluctantly, finally did. Yet to be able to clear the name of our compatriots, that has been done. And the last is to get the perpetrators punished.
And Mr. Mubarak, the issue about prosecution, we know you've been pushing this for some time, and we also know that you've petitioned the Speaker of Parliament. What's the latest on this petition?
Yeah, no, it's a question. I filed a parliamentary question for the Minister for Interior to come and tell us the state where this has reached, which state has this reached, because, I mean, you know, they did saying of justice delayed is justice denied. And now that they've been interdicted, we want to know at what stage are they, because I believe that with the committee's work, they needed to be presented before court. I mean, they needed to the Attorney General's Department needed to put them before court and let the court system be able to sieve the chaff from the grain, because it is our belief that it's not all the 21 officers who were at this particular scene. Our belief is that they do not go beyond 7 officers. So we needed to put them before court and let the court system work. Because you see, about a lot of Ghanaians have lost their life through this handling of weapons. I've argued again and again and again. I believe that there are a lot of good police officers, but the bad ones among them we need to get the bad ones off the system, because many Ghanaians, innocent Ghanaians, have lost their life through this way, and they say that, the police themselves will do investigation. Nothing comes out of it. If this has come, I want every Ghanaian to support us so that these gentlemen will be prosecuted.
Right, Mr. Mubarak, briefly, I want to find out from you, some of the relatives of the deceased have been calling for the removal of the commander, that's the police commander of the Ashanti region, because he supervised all of this. We know that when the incident happened, there was a public display of ammunition and some weapons supposedly used by the victims. Is there a just call for the commander to be removed?
It is. I mean, on many of your sister stations, I said this too. I said that too. That look, he was a commander, he was a senior officer. When his men go and come, and they come with a story, how does he cross-check to find out the veracity of the information that they are bringing. They came and paraded those guns. Now the committee has been able to establish that they can never link those gentlemen with those guns. So where did they get those arms? Then he addressed the whole world, telling us this one-sided story without him cross-checking. Being a senior officer, I believe that it's not only the 21 officer that must be punished. He must equally be punished because he has what it takes. Because remember, as a regional police commander, he has the BNI working with him, he has the CID working with him. What checks did he do to cross-check all the facts that they put before him before he came to tell the whole world? So if today a committee that has been set up has been able to find out that a lot of the things that were said were lies, then he lied to us. Because, these 21 officers that we are now mentioning, we didn't hear themselves talking. It was the police commander who relayed the information to us. So he must equally be punished. We shouldn't just restrict it to the 21 officers.
We're grateful, Honorable Muttaka Mubarak, for speaking to us. He's Member of Parliament for Asawans, and he's been following this issue since the story broke somewhere last year.
But just before we go for business, the men's gold issue keeps on unfolding. And yesterday, 194 countries were alerted that he's a wanted man. And we've been speaking to the PRO of men's gold a while ago on Top Story. Also, amongst others, he says that NAM1 has not abandoned the company. But more importantly, the government has issued a statement on its position on the men's gold saga, a 6-point statement on what Ghanaians should know about the government's position on this. You were taking us through it earlier, Elton. Let's go through the 6 points.
So, in brief, government says that men's gold was not licensed by BOG or SEC, and its operations were not regulated by BOG or SEC. This warning was made as far back as April 2016 and unfortunately was disregarded by many customers of men's gold. BOG and SEC are therefore not clothed with any legal mandate to refund monies to clients. And they've made reference to DKM. Government is saying that, for example, DKM was licensed by BOG, and the reason for which it stepped in to help retrieve the money of depositors. In the case of men's gold, it operated as a trading company and falls outside the scope of the regulator's intervention.
Okay, so it also says that customers whose contractual obligations have not been met by the company are entitled to seek legal remedy to retrieve their funds paid to the company ostensibly to buy gold. Indeed, some customers have exercised that legal mandate and have either filed writs in the court to retrieve their monies or reported the company and its directors to the security agencies on the suspicion of defrauding by false pretense. The Ghana Police Service has subsequently issued an arrest warrant pursuant to these reports and has accordingly informed Interpol to assist in the search for and arrest of Nana Apia Mensah and 2 others to help in police investigations.
And there's this photograph of the men's gold boss and Nana, President Akufo-Addo, and they have a response about this particular photo, and they're saying that on no occasion has President Akufo-Addo endorsed the operations of men's gold or its directors. Government has also not aided the operations of the company, as is being bandied about by officials and members of the NDC. Attempts by the NDC, according to the statement, to take advantage of the pain and loss of victims is shameful, appalling, and smacks of political desperation. Indeed, suggestions that all public figures who have been cited in photos with officials of the company are complicit in the company's dealings are laughable. And it goes on to say that such suggestions reduce the serious misfortunes of customers to cheap, ridicule, and distasteful. Additionally, attempts by leading members of the opposition NDC to claim that the company commenced its operation in 2017 and that the current administration ought to have been blamed for the misfortune only exposes the desperation of the opposition party. Men's Gold, for the record, according to the statement, began its operations as far back as 2013.
Okay, so it looks like point 4 also reiterates the point in point 3, and it adds that, again, the company and its officials have never been part of any government delegation accompanying the president on any presidential visit. Speculations that the company acquired 85% of its clients in the last 24 months are also an obviously cheap attempt to link government to a very unfortunate situation.
The 5th point is that whilst government sympathizes with customers on the difficulties encountered in their transactions with the company, the state cannot and will not resort to the use of taxpayers' monies to refund customers' monies.
And then point 6, finally, it says that government wishes to inform the general public that the security agencies, having received reports from customers that they believe they have been defrauded by false pretenses, shall employ all the powers of the state to find the accused persons, investigate the allegations, and ensure that the law takes its course in this matter. And that statement is signed by Kojo Opong Nkrumah. Still to come here on Newsnight, founder of Glorious Word Power Ministries, Reverend Owusu Bempah, in a significant gesture, Lord's National Chief Imam for his leadership following attacks by some angry youth on his church.
Chief Imam,
we are grateful to the National Chief Imam. He has shown leadership in this matter.
We'll get details of that later. We'll also get to hear from a repentant Men's Gold client who is vowing to shut down all his bank accounts who have nothing to do with financial institutions. That's later on Flip Side.
If I ever get any money at all, even going to the bank to even save again, Christ, no. My 3 bank accounts, I'll make sure everything, I close everything. Even if I get 2 CDs, I make sure I'll gather it, go and buy cement.
Well, that will be on Flip Side. But George, what will be the implication for the financial sector?
You want to first identify the number of customers who believe in this ideology or ideology with respect to taking their funds from the banking system. And it's very important and very critical. But if it's just 1 or 2 persons, maybe, well, let's hope that they bring back. You take your money to the bedroom, you don't know the rats or the cockroaches would do to that. But what I'm looking forward to our friends from Kumawood, what would be their titles of their movies on Nam1?
Nam1, 1 and 2. Nam1, Namaniho, 1 and 2. What's in business?
Well, coming up in business, the new owners of ECG Morocco set to formally take over the company from the beginning of next month, and Securities and Exchange Commission likely to roll out fresh set of actions against the gold dealership firm from next week. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number 1-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Hello and welcome to the MTN Weather Report. Joe, we know say January dear if you are a better month, but with MTN, sea never dry. Now the details of my weather report. 15,000 cities go blow from the intertropical boundaries across the country. Rhyming in it. We can also see a mist of fog patches of 25,000 cities and a heavy monetary downpour of 30,000 cities. A move to maltreat the dry season across the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you go, whether it be school fees or akasisem fees, we there for you. Rent advance, salary advance, your sorting advance, because with MTN, we're there for you. And Joe, keep talking, browsing, texting, and transact more with Momo and win instant prizes each month. Now, Kushin will new year in the MTN More For You promo. And dial *120#. Now check your points. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Do the dance. Do the dance.
Nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number 1-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the new owners of ECG Meralco are expected to formally take over the company from the beginning of next month. This is because under the agreement covering the Millennium Development Compact for Ghana, the new owners must take over from February 1, 2019. Now, this is to aid the compact as well as drawing down of funds. Chief Executive of the Millennium Development Authority, Martin Esson Benjamin, tells Joy Business the new owners cannot delay in taking over ECG.
In the last budget that was read, the minister stood in Parliament and said that ECG will be transferred on the 1st of February because that's the information that had been passed on to him. And we want to stand by. See, there are two opportunities. Handover, and in the process, there are issues that are low-hanging, which can be taken on board as the new company comes. If there's any disagreement, as they come in and look into the books, they'll be seeing a lot more. But they are committed to taking over on the 1st of February.
That before the compact itself was signed, there was some 700 and something million, is it Ghana cedis or dollars, that government has finished clearing. There was another issue about debts as well. As we speak right now, has all of them been cleared? That is the one.
You see, I don't think that I can categorically indicate that every debt has been paid. But once they are in the books and they are known and they know who would be the beneficiary, I think we can carry that information forward and work with it.
In some of these things, obviously there will be some rationalization. How clear-cut is this commitment that I won't come in and change my mind and say that, there were two financial controllers, now I just need one financial controller?
Government has said that they will not terminate the appointment of anyone. That the whole 6,000 workers working with ECG must be transferred to the new company. The new company has agreed and accepted and signed off on that. So if they shirk that responsibility, then they would have gone against the contracts that they signed. And then any penalties that must be taken over.
And that's a key KPI as well. Chief Executive of the Millennium Development Authority, Martin Esson Benjamin. The Securities and Exchange Commission is likely to roll out first set of actions against gold dealership firm Men's Gold. Now, this is what Joy Business has picked up from persons close to the Commission. Sources say the action will be in collaboration with other government agencies. We also understand they would be soon moving to enforce their earlier directive on closing down the gold collectible business of Men's Gold, which today they sought to halt that regulatory action. The writ was actually thrown out of court today. There are no plans to embark on any staff layoffs post-merger with Energy Commercial Bank. Now, that is the assurance coming from the managing director of First Atlantic Bank. There are fears that such measures would lead to layoffs as the bigger player in these transactions try to rationalize its human resource to make more returns on its investment. But Managing Director of First Atlantic Bank, Odum Odumfa, tells Joy Business they rather need more hands to drive their growth.
In our case, we believe that there's room for everyone. We're clear in our mind that the market share that we're targeting allows us to use the people that we have together in both organizations to achieve those targets. We've engaged our staff on both sides. We've explained ourselves to them. We have more branches. We have more outlets. We're going to have more products. We need more people to sell these products and these services. So we're fairly confident, actually very confident, that our people will find this place a very good place to work, even post-merger. We are committed to being transparent in everything we do, for them to understand that their welfare is uppermost. Because, we're a service organization, and our main, what I will call tool, or our main driver of service is our people. And we're focused to make sure that they're happy and they work in an environment that allows them to flourish.
It's very refreshing and
exciting from an accountant at the other end of it.
Yes, I guess so. I don't think staff have anything to worry about. For everybody that works here that contributes, you will get a fair shake. That's for sure.
Managing Director of First Atlantic Bank, Odum Odumfa. Cocoa processing firm CPC is taking steps to prevent it from being removed from the Ghana Stock Exchange. Managers of the exchange had initially indicated that they were working to soon delist a firm from the market because of their inability to conform with listing requirements. But the firm says already moving fast to ensure that this doesn't happen. There is more in this report.
Cocoa Processing Company was one of such firms that the Ghana Stock Exchange recently noted were working to get removed from the market unless they comply with the listing requirements. This was due to its inability to organize its annual general meeting and publish its financial accounts. This led to the suspension of trading and its shares on the market. In a circular to investors, the company noted that it is moving fast to lift this restriction. According to the company, it has held the annual general meeting and published its accounts. It has also taken some measures to quickly turn around its fortunes. Some of them include securing fresh working capital from some banks, procure new plants, as well as introduce new products to aid their transformation.
And that was a Business Desk report. Now let's turn our attention to the stock market. And gold was actually down by a peso, so it's now worth 3 Ghana cedis, 10 pesos. The parent company of Ecobank Ghana, that is ETI, on the stock market was also down by 2 pesos, and it's now worth 16 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, MFA and Kobla.
Thank you very much, George, with the latest from the world of business. Shortly, we'll be bringing you some of your thoughts and comments on our WhatsApp line 024-4340-437. But the minority in Parliament is asking Ghanaians to expect a 60% increase in electricity tariff soon, warning the power producers will struggle to operate without such an increase. And minority spokesperson on energy, Adams Mutawakilu, says the energy sector is in crisis as the ECG's debt inches towards 2 billion cedis. And he's blaming the situation on government's decision to reduce electricity tariff sometime last year. MFR, some power players are already asking for a 40% hike in the tariff or they will struggle to operate. Mr. Mutawakilu tells Joy News, with the concessionaire preparing to take over management of ECG, the hikes in tariff is inevitable. We'll bring you that soundbite as and when we have it, but that's the latest from the energy front, and we can speak to or listen to the Northern Region Public Relations Officer of NEDCO. They've also been making some concerns and making in some demands for tariff increases. We'll bring you that as and when we have it. But some messages coming through on our WhatsApp console. Why should the state security agencies be looking for number one through the Interpol when the PRO of Men's Gold seems to know the whereabouts of his boss? The PRO of a company should be picked up immediately to help in locating his boss. That's Kofi Seidu sending that one in. Another one says, we did not ask government to pay with taxpayers' money. The actions of the regulators as sirens into was distasteful. Again, for government to have waited for Nam1 to divest himself of all his properties before acting raises some eyebrows. The state failed, and the regulators who have been paid with taxpayers' money should do the honorable thing by vacating their seats. That's one from Ben Isuman. He doesn't add where he is sending us that text from.
And this one also from Jibuku Ishmael in Wa Old Traffic Light. He says, I will plead with our brothers at Tripoli to smoke the peace pipe. We need peace to develop, and without peace, there cannot be development. And this one from Eben says, a similar thing happened to some of us who were customers of the defunct Safeway Tilapia Company, where some few aggrieved customers won judgment and got some assets of the company, leaving majority of us to be fighting them at the law court for the same assets. And we have this one also from Evans in Kumasi. Says, in fact, my take on this whole Men's Gold saga for the past 2 days is, instead of our leaders trying to shift blame onto the usual NPP-NDC game, all should remain calm, help this gentleman to feel loved and come out from his hideout to help resolve this mystery. I feel the gentleman had a good intention with this innovation, but it's unfortunate it failed. I sincerely pity this gentleman. We'll take the last one, also saying that it sounds very annoying hearing Niyama Matifio being interviewed on radio. He's always telling lies, he says. And one final one says, I'm taking aback the government of the day is still wading into this Men's Gold controversy. The fact of the matter is that just 5 months back, the regulatory agencies issued warning that the mysterious gold trading could not continue. But then well-meaning Ghanaians went ahead to make deposits to them.
You're still listening to Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM. You can keep your comments still coming in on our WhatsApp line 0244340437. We can do some other stories now. And the Ghana Police Service is defending the killing of a 25-year-old staff of a savings and loans company, Divine Akuno. The deceased, who was on a motorbike at Teshi here in Accra, was allegedly shot by police on suspicion he was an armed robber. The police claim he snatched the handbag of a woman and attempted to flee. His brother, Gameli Aquinot, contends the deceased was not an armed robber. Instead, he was a decent man. Ifwa Evans Chiri has more in this report.
Divine Aquino, as described by his family, was well-mannered and full of life.
He's the most humble person I've seen. Divine is not someone who will indulge in anything like that at all. If you know Divine, you know very well. Everyone is taken aback by this sudden occurrence. No one has ever come here to say this. We go trace Divine back to his school in Sugar School. Nothing. Accra Polytechnic, nothing of the sort. If there was a trend, then we could say, oh, okay. But there's no trend. There's nothing like that. So how? That is what begs the question. How?
His father, Albert Aquino, says he will not rest until justice is served.
If you found him with even something, he told you his dad is near, his house is just here. He has his car in the yard. So let us go. So you see my parents, just about 5 houses away. And you still went ahead and do that damage. Can they bear that pain? We need justice.
This eyewitness narrates what happened.
I was coming back from nightclub that time with my brother. So when we met a lady, with my brother, with a lady, but I have to wait for them under the tree. Then they will go inside. So I know our neighborhood, so I decided to sit down. So after searching me, and they saw a motorbike coming around the corner, and they have to drive straight to that place. This corner, and after driving straight carefully, then started shooting. So I wanted to go and see who they shot. But they told me I should go back home.
But the police insist the young man was an armed robber. DSP Efiatenge is the Greater Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer.
The police states that the deceased was not shot in a mistaken identity, as claimed or alleged by the family, but died through police gunshot wounds. The second suspect, who escaped, was later also arrested and will be prosecuted in due time.
So you heard the Public Relations Officer of Accra Region Police Command, DSP Efiatenge, ending that report by my colleague Ifwa Evans Chimney. Good time now to have Hans Mensah-Ando give us the latest from the world of sport. Hans.
Right, Kamala, and Ghana's representatives in Africa, Santi Kotoko, will leave Accra for Cameroon tomorrow for the first leg of their CAF Confederations Cup game with Cotton Sport. The Porcupine Warriors had to forgo their initial plan of using the executive chairman, Dr. Kwame Che's commercial flight due to their inability to secure the requisite clearance to fly outside the country. Here is the club's communications director, Samuel Safuduku.
The team is set to leave here on Friday tomorrow at 10:50 a.m. Then we'll do a 2-hour transit in Togo. Then from there we'll fly directly to Cameroon and then we'll hope to get there by 5:30 p.m.
Okay, but the initial plan was to go with a charter flight, that's a Unit Air. Why that change?
In fact, initially we arranged with Askai, and then when we realized that the return trip will not be in the best interest of the club, as opposed to on Tuesday, we had an option, Easy Air Training, when we got the information that they have satisfied all the requirements. But just 2 days ago, an issue cropped up that the pilot was having some challenges with his passport. So we decided that if the opportunity of traveling with Askai was still there, then we cannot take risks. So we decided to take it with them.
Let's do some tennis now in the first Grand Slam of the year. The Australian Open kickstarts on the 19th of January. Defending men's champion Roger Federer plays Uzbekistan's Denis Istomin in his opening match, while Rafael Nadal in the Swiss half of the draw meets Australian wildcard James Duckworth. World number 1 Novak Djokovic will face a qualifier in the first round, potentially playing France's Joe Wilfred Tsonga in the second round. Both Federer and Djokovic are aiming to become the first man to win a 7th singles title in Melbourne, with a pair tied with Australian great Roy Emerson on 6 victories. That's your sports.
Thank you very much, Hans. It's a Thursday, though, but let's do some fact-checking, Komla. Because in 2018, we fact-checked 25 claims made by President Akufo-Addo. Now, in all, 52% of the claims were either entirely true or partly true, with approximately 48% being either misleading or completely false. Raymond Akwa throws more light on some of the claims in this report.
Most of the claims that the president made in the year under review and got it completely true in the economic sector were on inflation.
The rate of inflation has improved from 15.4%. We are now in single-digit figure.
Like the example above, all the 12 reports on inflation from its decline to reaching a single digit were all factual. Indeed, the NPP inherited inflation in December 2016 at 15.4%, and as of December 2018, it had reduced to a single digit of 9.4%. One of the most misleading and yet often repeated claims by the president from July 2018 was a prediction of the IMF that Ghana will be the fastest growing economy in 2018.
The IMF is saying that we have the fastest growing economy in the world this year.
Even though the IMF in its report in October 2017 and January 2018 predicted that Ghana was going to be fastest growing economy in 2018, as of April 2018, it had changed its projection. In its April 2018 release, Ghana had lost the number 1 spot even in sub-Saharan Africa to Ethiopia. This is according to the World Economic Outlook reports of the World Bank and the IMF. Now, the president also talked about negative growth in the manufacturing sector for 2015.
In 2015, manufacturing recorded a negative growth of -2%.
The manufacturing sector in 2015 did not record a negative growth. According to the Statistical Service, that sector in 2015 did record positive 2.2%.
Raymond Akwa with some fact-checking there. Now, founder of a Glorious Word Power Ministries, Reverend Owusu Bempah, in a significant peace gesture, has lauded the National Chief Imam for his leadership following attacks on his check by some youth angered by his death prophecies. The preacher early today during a joint press conference at Fadama here in Accra, in the presence of a Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, said but for the intervention of a senior Islamic cleric, there could have been further disturbances and chaos following his December 31 doomsday prophecies.
Yebeda Chief Imam Asipa Amse Wachre Se Odo.
We are grateful to the National Chief Imam. He has shown leadership in this matter.
Asundue a nyamedi adom no ene ejesu a wo nyamedi adom na kade esi ye no kebetime de oseye no haw piaba.
Without his intervention, we would have seen lots of distraction. After the prophecy, he came out boldly to assure the followers to remain calm.
Beda ye nyina ya papa me dia me papa eno no prekope atakbir Allah
And that is a mark of leadership, and I respect him for that. You heard the Reverend Owusu Bempah, is founder of Glorious Word Power Ministries, during that press conference. Well, on his part, the Chief Imam welcomed the preacher and committed to peaceful coexistence between the two faiths. Here is a spokesperson.
A lot of people maybe do not understand why the youth went out there in their numbers to do what they did. And it's only because people don't take into consideration a fundamental issue in Islam, and that is the issue of prophecy and prophets. We Muslims believe that our Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet. That is a fundamental belief in Islam. So, for us to hear that a prophet has predicted the death of our leader is something that a lot of people may not understand.
You had one of the spokespersons for the National Chief Imam who spoke at the joint press conference held earlier today between Reverend Bempa's faction and then the office of the Chief Imam. Now we can do some flip side. All right, MFA, and there's been a lot happening, with Men's Gold, over the past,
months?
5-6 months, and there are those of the customers who have been agitating, demonstrating, and calling for their investments to be paid them and all of that. But some of the soundbites have been really, really memorable. We can listen to them.
I can't sleep. My case is becoming a police case. A police case because orphanage money is involved. They should give us our money. We are talking about 400,000. If he's doing something that is not good, let's arrest him and bring him.
Because of this, I have not gone to school the whole of my trimester. People put their money there for chemotherapy, stroke patients. I know of one woman who comes there almost every day. Her money is with Men's Gold. She just wants some part of her money to buy drugs. They are not giving it to her. She's in sick. Whenever I see her, I feel pity for her, even though I also cannot help her.
So those are some Men's Gold customers, those whose investments have been locked up with a gold trading firm for God knows how long.
And then finally, just before we go, some of them are repentant though.
Yes.
You can listen to Evans.
If I ever get any money at all, even going to the bank to even save again, Christ, no. My 3 bank accounts, I'll make sure everything, I close everything. I don't want to even have anything to do with the bank, to have anything to do with this kind of savings and loans, blah, 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 investment. I'm done. Even if I get 2 CDs, I make sure I'll gather it, go and buy cement.
if you get, if you have your money, what will you do with it? He's just told us that he'll buy cement with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's go, why? And that's it for tonight's edition of Newsnight. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. And on personality profile tonight, Fuse ODG is in the studio. So you want to stay for that with Sammy Forson. Have a good evening. I am MFA Paul.
And I am Komladum. Thank you for joining us.